What's up? What's up, YouTube? It's Ryan, your buddy. So bad it's good. We haven't done this in a while. I think a YouTube video. We're getting back to basics. We're doing part one and we're doing 2 episodes of Salt Lake in this recap. Maybe we'll split it up into 2 videos. Who knows? But there's an audio podcast of this as well, which we're recording at the same time. So pardon me while I hit record on the GarageBand. What you just missed is the mashup, which I start all shows with. And you just missed a great mashup by the Strokes and Notorious B.I.G. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to an all new episode of So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. This is your buddy Ryan, and this is your Wednesday episode. Folks, like I've said for the last 2 weeks, I have no idea when the hell we are. I'm pretty sure Christmas has passed, Hanukkah has passed, Kwanzaa has passed. I'm pretty sure we're still in 2022, but it could be 2023. Who knows? I could have just slept through the new year. I'm not sure. We are in that weird void between these two major big holidays. I don't know if you call New Year's a holiday, but we're in between those, and it's crazy. I just feel untethered. I usually feel untethered, but I even feel more untethered than usual. So that means you're going to get a very unhinged podcast today, which I don't know. That's unhinged. Hey, you're in the right hands, baby. Unhinged is my middle name. It's not my middle name is Kyler, but my unofficial name is Unhinged. My unofficial name is the bad boy of podcasting. That's right, because the bad boy of podcasting always does too much. So today we're doing too much. We're hitting you over the head with 2 recaps. We're catching up on our bizarre ladies of that town called Salt Lake. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're doing this past week's episode and the week before, and we're going to mash them up all together, just like that mashup you just heard. Oh, the Strokes and Notorious B.I.G. Amazing. But we got to talk about these past 2 episodes. I'm not sure if there's a new episode tonight. I almost kind of hope there isn't, because I truly don't need to hear Heather tell us how she didn't get a black eye. How much listen, I get it. You don't want to tell us. Shut up about it then. You know what? I'd almost like George Lucas or James Cameron to put that avatar technology to use and just erase Heather from the last couple of episodes. Listen, you're on TV. Sorry, if something happens, you better damn well tell us. I'm sorry if I you know what? You're lucky I'm mad, because the next part is going to be me not caring at all. And just watching that, you could come to me with 4 black eyes and I'm not going to care. You've got to tell us, or don't tell us, but don't tease us. Don't tease us. This isn't the 3rd grade playground. People calling me pubic head because I had curly hair. You're not going to tease us with this black eye. Either tell us who did it or didn't. Other than that, I don't care. And I swear to God, if you save it for your book, her book, this bad Mormon book that she's kept teasing for the last year, if you save it for that book, I'm going to make copies of that book. I'm going to take one from the library. I'm going to make 1,000 copies, and I'm going to mail it to everybody who wants a copy, so they don't buy a copy, because that is unfair. You need to tell it on the show. And at this point, it's just getting damn ridiculous. Oh, sure, you got a black eye. What possible venue could we talk about this black eye at? If only we had a TV show that you were on where you could explain to us, or even possibly, wait, does it have cameras everywhere? You're telling me you're on a show about you that has cameras everywhere, that was there the night you potentially got this black eye, yet we're not going to see it? Sign me up. That sounds like amazing television. Please tell me less. I'm sorry. I'm pissed. I am pissed. I had to rewatch this damn Salt Lake again just to remember everything that happened. Also today, both of these notes have been taken by Laura Beth Harp. You can find her on @Laura Beth Harp on Instagram. Killed it with these notes, because I have to sit there. I'll just sit there in pain. I'm staring directly at the screen instead of my typewriter, and I'm just in horror, because I'm like, what the hell is going on with this franchise? And then if you compare it to Real Housewives of Miami, amazing franchise, worth getting Peacock for, which we're going to potentially do a Miami recap starting sometime this week. Oh my God, I annoyed the hell out of sometime this week? What is going on? Anyways, let's do a couple show notes before we get into the fun of the recaps, because we're going to get right into it today. But man, the holidays are so weird on so many levels. This holiday is so weird for me on other levels besides the levels that it's usually weird, but it really does feel weird this year. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. And I felt like I need a how Stella got her groove back. I need a how Ryan got his groove back. I don't know if I'm feeling it. I hope tonight, I hope I can put the energy, and I hope something magical happens tonight between us with this recap, because I need it. I hope you guys need it, because I need to get back to basics, man. I don't know why my head has just been in so many different places. So I'm really happy to be sitting behind this desk and talking to you. And if you're watching on YouTube, hey, YouTube. And if you don't know, we're on YouTube. Go subscribe. So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Also, if you like the podcast, I always say leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I would say do that for all podcasters. We do put a lot of work on this stuff. Patreon baddies, what's up? I just read a comment. Part 2 of the Maritza thing, I hope is coming tomorrow. She is not feeling well, actually. I think she got not COVID. She just recovered that, but I think she got strep, I think. So I don't think her voice is going to be great. So I might be doing that solo, or doing something solo on the Patreon. So sign up to see what the hell I do. And I think that's all of the stuff. That's all the commercial shit I need to do. But subscribe, tell your friends. I've sat a lot today thinking about 2023 and what I want it to be, and how we can change this up a little bit, even though I think it's working, but how we can make it better. I know we can definitely make it smoother, but make it fun. And I was thinking about pop culture, and I love it, and you guys love it, and we love reality shows. So we have all that in common, and we know that this show is about all of that. But I was just even thinking about, I want to talk a lot about older pop culture moments as we go through 2023. It's like I was just thinking about today, and I made this Instagram post because I finally got a new phone because my storage was completely out. So Apple does this funny thing where they're like, F you, Ryan, you buy a new phone with your credit card, not real money, mind you, a credit card, so you can get more storage, so you don't have to delete photos, so you can keep making horrible Lisa Rinna memes on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, once again, sign me up. And so I get this new phone, and I'm going through old photographs as it's loading, and I forgot, there's these little pockets of pop culture that I think are so bad it's good moments. So bad it's good, where it's on its face, it's horrible. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But then you start thinking about it, and you're like, I can't stop thinking about this. And then it sticks with you forever. And the moment I keep thinking about, right? You ever heard this Kim and Kanye, this Kim Ye? Well, at one point they were married, and they got married. You can see it on one of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode, but you also saw it in tons of photographs. They got married in Italy, and it was this huge production. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, here's an interesting fun fact that a lot of people don't remember. In fact, people thought I was making up the Instagram post that I posted tonight. I'm happy to say that I didn't, but I always like when I get those, because it's like, Ryan, you make up the weirdest posts ever. So this could be you completely making something up. But even in this case, I'm like, wow, you think this is in my head, that I would make this specific memory up that makes no sense? What I'm referring to is not even Kim and Kanye at that wedding, or the wedding itself. What I'm referring to is one of the guests at the Kim Ye wedding. You're not going to believe this. Some of you might remember this, but let me enlighten you for everybody that doesn't. At this wedding, there is one guest in particular in an outfit that potentially totally raises, like, how you're the bride is supposed to wear white supposedly, and you're not supposed to upstage the bride. Well, this dude upstaged the bride. Of course, I am talking about the one and only Jaden Karate Kid Smith, baby, because he was at the Kim Ye wedding, and guess what he wore? Not overalls, not even just his birthday suit. No, he wore a full Batman outfit. Repeat that again. I think if Batman, he wore a full Batman, professionally made Batman outfit. More so than that, it was all white. It was not the black Batman outfit, or even the old school blue from the 60s television show. This was all white. Jaden Smith wore an all white, professionally made Batman outfit to Kim Ye's wedding. And there's photos of Kim Ye walking down the aisle, and you see Jaden there on the edge in his Batman suit. Now, listen, taking the plunge is scary for anybody, but I got to imagine it's even world scarier when Jaden Smith is there. Even world scarier than that is Jaden Smith there in a Batman outfit. And we've never fully gotten an explanation. I truly want to talk to Jaden one day and just, I don't even think there would be nothing about his family, nothing about his music, nothing about his movies. I would just want to do an hour-long podcast of, could you walk us through the Batman outfit at Kim Ye's wedding? What does it mean to you? Do you still have it? Can I buy it? Like, I'll do you one better though. This is how this story, and I've been looking for this picture, but this has how this story kind of involves me, is that after this wedding, oh my God, I'm just looking at my hair on the screen. After this wedding, oh, by the way, you guys, I told you last week how I dyed my beard and my face completely swelled up like the Nutty Professor again. And by the way, people have sent me articles now that since COVID, this has happened to a lot of people, and with hair dye as well. So be careful, but it's settled in. It's starting to settle in. My cheeks are starting to go down again. And I got to tell you, we're back to the beard, baby. Creepy mustache no longer. Get ready for a mustache ride, everybody. No, a beard ride. Sorry, not a mustache. Get ready for a beard ride, everybody. 2023, Bailey is back to the beard, like the bad boy of podcasting he is. But anyways, one year I was at Comic-Con like a bad boy. Yeah. Comic-Con is where a bunch of geeks head to San Diego every year and buy comic books and take pictures with people in comic book outfits. And it's something that I held dear for many years. It's so funny. Before I knew that there was big, like I always loved the Housewives from the very beginning, but I was also a huge Star Wars nerd, huge Batman nerd. I mean, like I'm one of the biggest Batman. Like I wanted to be Batman up until an age where I was like at 15, I was like, there's a chance I could be a superhero. Like I was still in that. If you listen to old episodes of this, I walk you through like how I used to grow. I grew up in Kansas, and I would dress up in like a homemade superhero outfit, which is like spandex shorts and then a witch cape that my mom had, and I had a bullwhip that I got from Silver Dollar City on a family vacation, and I would run around in the woods in Olathe, Kansas. We used to call this place the Trails, and I had like a little flimsy mat. This is so embarrassing, but this is what I'm telling you is if any of your kids are doing shit like this, just warn them that one day they'll have a podcast. So I'm in the woods and I would go and like spy on older kids in the woods. It would be dirt biking. Would be in this cape hiding behind a tree with red spandex shorts. Oh my God. Anyway, so I used to go to Comic-Con. I always loved superheroes. And I think that's why I like Housewives too, you guys, because they're superheroes as well. These ladies are huge characters. They have a lot in common with the Marvel and DC cinematic universe. But I went to Comic-Con one year, and this was after Kim and Kanye's wedding. And all of a sudden, and this is how my pop culture mind works, I had already known that Jaden had worn that white Batman outfit to the wedding. I'm in this convention center. There's like 80,000 people there. It's insane. It's like Coachella for nerds. And all of a sudden I'm in like one of the back of this. It's like a huge like convention center. Like it's just packed to the gills with all of these booths. And I spot two big burly bodyguards. And in the middle is a little guy in a white, professionally made Batman outfit. And I'm like, holy shit. And nobody was really noticing him except for me. And I immediately knew that's Jaden Smith. He's wearing the Batman outfit he wore to Kim and Kanye's. So me, being older was like, I gotta get close to this guy. And I was running in the convention center to try to catch up. And I know I have these blurry iPhone photos that I'm trying to find of the back of Jaden Smith in this Batman. Sorry, in this Batman outfit, but it's like Comic-Con is the perfect place for Jaden Smith for nobody to give a fuck who he is because everybody's dressed in the weirdest outfits ever. Like any celebrity could go in there and you wouldn't ever even look because there's people dressed as like sharks and like weird comic book characters you've never heard of. So yeah, Jaden Smith, a little tiny black dude in this Batman outfit. Nobody even gave it a second thought except for me, except for this idiot. Anyways, Jaden, I love you. I want to talk to you someday. Let's make this happen. Jaden, let's finally make this happen. Also, everybody that reached out to me on yesterday's episode with Annabelle DeSisto for the pop culture roundup and the Kardashian Xmas party, guys, I realized I didn't realized after I processed all the audio that I didn't put in the clip of Kim Kardashian on the podcast with Angie, on Angie Martinez's podcast. So I'm going to play that now. If you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, basically Kim Kardashian did a podcast for Angie Martinez's new podcast, and it was an hour-long interview. There were some really fascinating moments, but I'm going to play you clips about her keeping her kids away from the knowledge about their dad and what he's been going through and what lengths she goes to hide it. It's almost like Batman, like a secret identity. And I was saying yesterday, I have like such empathy for this, and none of us can really truly understand what she's possibly going through, because none of us are ever going to be potentially as famous as Kim. I mean, probably me, but not yet. We're not going to really understand what it's like at that level of fame, and also that level of fame that her ex-husband was at. And she's tried to hide all of this stuff away from her kids. She wants them to love their dad, which is amazing. She also brings up how much she loved her dad and how amazing her dad was. And I think that's amazing. But it's also like the grass is greener and it's tomato, because, Robert Kardashian, amazing dude for obviously his daughters, but a lot of people had problems with Robert Kardashian. Robert Kardashian, I mean, remember his best friend was OJ. And he's still, I mean, OJ really, I don't even think OJ killed two people. I mean, and he's by the way, OJ did a podcast a couple weeks ago. I saw some clips on the old TikTok, and it's like these two, there's like dude bro podcasts, like the Logan Paul brothers and all those, but OJ was like, and he's free, and he's always like, and these guys try to sneak a question of like, OJ, are you ever going to try to find the real killer? And he's like, oh, you guys, I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer a question about that. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, OJ, not going to do that. And it was this thing of just like, wow, this guy loves attention so much that he gets away with murder and he still goes and does a podcast. So OJ, just want to let you know, if you want to watch an episode of like Potomac or Salt Lake and recap it with me, it wouldn't be a great honor, but wouldn't you love OJ on this Salt Lake recap where I'm like, OJ, how do you think Heather got that black eye? Do you think somebody snuck up on her in the middle of the night in an alleyway? How do you think that happened, OJ? Do you think somebody in a white Bronco came in and did it? But anyways, it's so weird how pop culture, we normalize these people, whether it be, we just had a Peacock, that Casey Anthony special. It's so interesting. I always talk about that idea, how pop culture is almost cross streams with crime and all of these weird things, where it used to just be movies and TV, and now it's true crime and nonfiction that gets brought into pop culture. And I'm sitting here talking about Jaden Smith in a Batman outfit because to me that's pop culture, and that wasn't even a TV show. That was real life. So anyways, I thought it was this impossible idea, and I talked about it yesterday, of the lengths Kim has to go through, and it's almost like a Truman Show-esque, where she says, well, I know where the kids go to school, I know all their teachers, I know who they talk to in the playground, I get reports. But then I was like, I keep thinking about it, I'm like, they're probably not allowed to go over to Disick's house. Like, they're not allowed to be with Mason, because Mason knows what's up. Mason has created, like, accounts where he'll go on and tell family secrets. I mean, this is well documented. This kid is my type of guy. He's like always busting the family out. But Mason at some point is like, North, come here. I want to show you this Alex Jones interview with your dad. Hey, I'm Alex Jones. What's going on here? And I just think it's dangerous because it's going to go get out somewhere. But I know she's trying to protect their innocence and youth. And that's a really complicated thing, because how do you do that when you are under such scrutiny? And it's not like you're under such scrutiny because it just happened. Kim actively sought this attention. This was her dream. She is living her dream. So even this is all hard, the Kanye stuff, she signed up for this. This was her initial dream, and she's gone farther than she ever thought she could. So in a way, it's like weirdly aspirational for aspects of it, but then the Kanye part and the kid part is just like completely wild. Also, she does talk about dating in the interview, and I truly don't know I mean, Pete Davidson, you can really see why that did not go anywhere. It just, I mean, the more you know about Kim's life now, the reality of it and what she's had to deal with Kanye and how much she's hidden. Now, just think about this. She's hidden so much from her kids and she's honest with us, the audience, supposedly. I mean, she's honest with us more than she is with her own kids. Think about that. But if she's able to keep this from her kids, imagine what they've kept from us. Imagine how much stuff we don't know. And of course, right? You protect your family. There are things that I so badly want to tell you about my family or even me, or there's stuff that I'm not even had. I've wanted my stuff I can't talk about my mom right now that I want to, and I just find it really fascinating what that must be like. And to me, that's the real show. That's why I always say social media is the only thing that could possibly destroy reality TV, because social media is the real reality show these days. We're more likely to find out who gave Heather Gay the black eye on social media, some social media detective or Reddit thread, than we will ever on these shows that are produced and they're packaged in a certain way, the way the producers and production want us to see it. But with social media, with Reddit, with our detective work, these skills that we throw up on TikTok and all of this stuff, we're able to paint the picture that we want to paint, the way that we see it. So sometimes we're getting more of the truth. It might be in a very sloppy fashion like these podcasts, but we're able to do that. I just think it's really a fascinating idea that it scares me, but it also fascinates me. Does that make sense? Are we talking too deeply about that? We're friends. We can talk like this with each other. Okay, this is the clip I wanted to play for you guys.
Just be my assumption is that you protect your kids.
I definitely protected him, and I still will, in the eyes of my kids, for my kids. So in my home, my kids don't know anything that goes on the outside world. And I've managed.
How do you do that?
Do they know about Jaden and the Batman outfit?
I know I'm like so close to that not happening, but while it's still that way, I will protect that to the end of the earth as long as I can. Like I mean, my kids, they don't know anything.
How?
So
they're in school, they're on social.
So at school, like some of my best friends are the teachers. So I know what goes on at recess. I know what goes on at lunchtime. I hear what's being talked about. None of the kids have ever said anything to my kids. Like I protect stuff in the house as far as like the TVs and the content.
I feel like it must be a full-time job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, worth it because I think that, of course, I want to disassociate in specific thoughts and things being said because that's not me. But at the same time, in my home, like I could be going through something, but if we're riding to school and they want to listen to their dad's music, no matter what we're going through and no matter what is happening in the world, like I have to have that, smile on my face and blast his music and sing along with my kids and act like nothing's wrong. As soon as I drop them off, I can have a good cry or, text back and do what I got to do. But it's like, I had the best dad. I don't want to get emotional.
No.
It's just been a day for me. But like
it's been a time.
It has been. It's hard. Shit, it is like co-parenting. It's really fucking hard. And like
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
Or the quietest.
But I had the best dad and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids. As long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them, So like, if they don't know things that are being said or what's happening in the world, like, why would I ever bring that energy to them? That's like real heavy grown-up shit that they're not ready to like deal with, And when they are, we'll have those conversations. One day, my kids will thank me for not sitting here and like bashing their dad when I could.
Okay, so that was the clip I forgot to put in yesterday, and we talked about it, but it's to me so fascinating. One day my kids will thank me for not bashing their dad. And in a way, yeah, but then you're saying, well, will they thank you for going on a podcast that is picked up by TMZ and all of these outlets of you patting yourself on the back for not ripping their dad when you could have. And also Angie Martinez said, I mean, you're not co-parenting with just anyone. You know, I would, it's a very loose definition of co-parenting, and it's got to be I'm saying, like, my heart goes out, but at the same time, it's like, this is, you brought yourself to this place. All decisions that you made have brought you to this moment. And these kids do seem wildly amazing. I hope they would be they seem like they do have so much love. Except for that damn, you got to stop with these holiday parties, Kardashians. I keep getting new photos of these holiday parties. I now have a new theory that the Kourtney Kardashian that we see in those photos, who looks livid as hell, is just a cardboard cutout that you got at like Spencer's Gifts or Kinko's, and they just placed it in different areas at the holiday party, and then people could pose around her because she's doing the same mean sourpuss face in each one. And believe me, Kourtney, I get it. I don't want to hang out with them either, but my God. And did we even see Corey Gamble there? Like, I'm almost thinking this party was just digital. Like, is this all just in the metaverse or something? Does anybody know anybody that's worked at this party that's willing to break the NDA? Because I feel like what the fuck? Is this like an Illuminati induction ceremony? It just gets weirder and weirder, and it just doesn't seem a lot of fun anymore. We're going to talk about that because we're going to do a year-end wrap-up with Lex Nico. I believe we're going to do that next week in 2023 to look back at 2022. But I'm very excited to be doing it with Lex, and I was talking with her today. But we're gonna go. There's some other Kardashian stuff that I want to talk about, and some theories I have. I also want to talk to Kardashian Colloquium, that account who's been on before, and she's amazing. I don't know. I'm getting excited talking to you guys. So, okay, sorry, I went off there. We're gonna get to Salt Lake in just one sec. This is what I do, you guys. I always just keep going. The other thing I wanted to correct is that I read a Dumois blind, and I did point out that it was a blind, and you can't trust blinds sometimes. But I want to say that one of these blinds was proven to be not true. And it was the Justin Timberlake one, that a girl was sitting on his lap, I believe in Nashville at his club, in a Britney Spears shirt. And Dumois posted something today, and her comment was, "Less crazies in 2023, please." And it says, "There is a random girl who keeps posting stuff like this," which referring to the Justin Timberlake cheating rumor, always including that she was wearing a Britney shirt. Last time she claimed she saw him at a doctor's office in line, and then he saw her shirt and pulled her aside at the office. So that looks like it was debunked. Hopefully Justin is not a garbage trash can man or somebody with an arrangement. It seems like everybody has arrangements, but like I said yesterday, if we could make 2023 the year that celebrities just tell us their weird arrangements, so we don't have to even like waste our breath with it. Like, okay, great, you're married, but you're in an open relationship and you're allowed to fuck around. Perfect. Just wanted to know that. Can we get your wife to sign off on that? Okay, she says it's cool too. Good. We don't have to worry about it. Other than that, you're going to get these weird blind items all the time. Also, we already knew this, but I don't know why an official announcement was made today that Pete Davidson and Emma Ratajkowski, I always say it wrong. Somebody told me how to say it and I've already forgotten. They're no longer, you guys. They're going to just remain friends. So it turns out Camelot has once again fallen for Pete Davidson. I love that he was at the Knicks game this Sunday with his sister, and a lot of people didn't know it was his sister, and they were like, "Look at Pete's new girl." I can't imagine anything more horrifying for my sister if I was ever in public with her, to be like, "Wow, look who's with the bad boy of podcasting." It's my sister's worst nightmare. Hey, my worst nightmare too, actually. Sorry, Kara, if you're listening. I just don't want it. You know, we're solid as brother and sister. Anyways, okay, let's get into this. We've done enough jibber jabber. It's all jibber jabber. Okay, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're going back 2 weeks, you guys. We're going to speed through this one. We're going to pick out the scenes that I think matter. But this is all ridiculous because they're in San Diego, because Jen Shah, of course, can't go anywhere overseas because she's frankly a criminal. But let me catch you up. She's already poured a glass of champagne on her best friend Angie K's head, and she also threw her $1,500 shoes into the ocean. And then we went to a Tongan themed dinner, I believe, and everybody fights. Everybody was fighting at each other, and then Jen forgave Angie, and Heather goes, "You lost to Heather Gay." You looked to Heather Gay. Now, I will say this. I've read a couple of theories, and somebody put this one out there in regards to her gigantic black eye. One of the theories going out there that whatever happened to Heather Gay's eye happened potentially before the trip, and the bruise was already setting in because somebody took a screen grab of the dinner, and it looked like a bruise was beginning to form. I don't know, maybe that person just had a bad TV or something, but who knows? And also, like I said, when you tease it and you don't tell us, I don't care. And it makes me mad. So if it is stupid, something stupid like, well, it actually happened a week ago when I tripped down my stairs and I hit a bag of Legos. I'm going to be pissed. Okay, so this is called season 3, episode 11, High Stakes and Friendship Breaks. Loving it. We do all those previous scenes, no taglines this time. Everybody's waking up from the night before. Dana, Banana, Meredith are in the kitchen talking about cage-free eggs. We can skip that scene. And then we go out to the pool where Whitney, Lisa, and Angie K are in the pool. And there's tons of flotation devices all around. And I just mean the chesticles. This Whitney, her, like, I mean, I don't want to, like, the gazongas on these ladies. I mean, whoa, whoa. They are just, and I notice it with Miami too, huge gazongas everywhere. Gazongas, of course, if they kick the kids out, we're talking about the boobs. They've got these gigantic boobs that just like they look good in dresses and stuff. I think I'm not sure. I don't know. I need some girl to tell me like what boobs look like, what fake boobs look cool and what doesn't. What look like what's meant for like guys' attention and what's meant for because I just get confused what is considered attractive to women and what is considered attractive to men, because the men seem like, oh, those huge gazongas, but then sometimes women are like, that's obscene. But even some of these, I'm like, that's obscene. Like Lisa Barlow, I think she's got fake gazongas too, but hers are a little shaped differently. And I don't know what I don't know what the professional wording is for these boobs. I like to go. Well, Maritza always makes fun of me. I think I don't know if I came up with it or Maritza came up with it, or Kate Legayco. We were talking about boobs. We were talking about Selling the OC, that character Alex Hall. If you watch that on Netflix, she has fake gazongas, and she let's just keep calling them gazongas. Why not? She looks like she has gazongas because she puts them out in every scene like that. Alex Hall on Selling the OC, her gazongas are 2 separate characters. They're like the Oppenheim brothers, but boobs, and they're always out and they're like teardrops. And I think they look pretty cool, but I don't know if they look cool to other women or they just look cool to me because I'm a dude. I don't know. And I don't know if that gets into a weird territory for me talking about boobs, but here we are. I just noticed that in Salt Lake, every scene takes place in a body of water. They're either in a hot tub or a jacuzzi or a pool or a shower. There's just water everywhere. This is like more Avatar Way of Water than Avatar Way of Water. You know what I'm saying? It's like every scene is like, should we hop in water first? It's like, how about we just sit down? Everybody just sit down in their clothes. I mean, this is just there's a lot of skin on Salt Lake. So we're in the pool and Angie K's like, did you work out this morning? And when he's like, this is my workout. And Lisa's like, my workout was running my mouth last night. And Angie's like, you did get a little jaw workout last night. And there's a flashback of Lisa yelling at Jen at the luau dinner. And Lisa's like, the bottom line is we have all dealt with this for a long time. And it was pre-trial too. It's not anything new. What happened to me on the boat was ridiculous. Like, I was really upset about that. There's no reason to come at me because I'm not treating you badly. I don't want to be pushed. I don't want to be yelled at. Is she my friend? Yeah, but that's unacceptable. I don't treat my friends like that. I don't want to be treated like that. In a confessional, she continues, last night was just more of the same, and I'm sick of it. I am there for Jen all the time. And we see flashbacks of all the time Lisa has been supportive of Jen, okay? And Whitney is like, no one's trying to say like we're turning our back on you, Jen. We're just telling you the way that you're treating us hurts. And she won't hear it. And Lisa's like, but it's unacceptable what Jen's doing. She keeps doing it. And Angie's like, she doesn't even remember pushing you. She doesn't even know that happened. Did you notice that last night? Because the previous evening, Lisa's like, you like tackled me on the boat. And Jen's like, what? But also, I do want to point out a theory of Jen's also a liar and a con man. So who knows what she really remembers and what she really doesn't. And I'm sorry. If you're a Jen Shah fan, I pray for you, but I'm sorry. Just let's call a spade a spade. She's a liar. It's a proven liar at this point. It seems to be how she handles her friendships and business relationships. So Whitney's like, that's a problem. That's a problem because much like Heather doesn't even remember we were in a fight. And Angie's like, well, I know when we were in the hot tub, more water, you were talking about taking a friend break from her. How is that going with you guys? Of course, we get a flashback in this. We have so many flashbacks in Bravo shows, and we go to a flashback of Whitney, Angie K, Jen, and Lisa in another body of water. They're currently in the pool having this scene. And then we flash back to a hot tub where Whitney's talking about the Heather conflict. And Whitney's like, honestly, I don't even know if she's aware, which I get so confused by. And Angie's like, she doesn't even notice you're absent from her life. And Whitney's like, no. And Lisa's like, I feel like she pushes you. And Whitney's like, she hasn't even noticed. Whitney in a confessional is like, it's just really frustrating where Heather and I are at because we were just in a neutral space. But the moment she got put on blast by Jen, she tried to pull me into it. It is true. Heather is having a flop season. Like, I mean, we're talking, look, kids, a falling star, Heather Gay. It is a flop season. I rewatched this next episode after this one we're going to talk about, and she's just a jerk. I mean, she used to be funny and she still has funny moments, but something else is going on, or at least I hope something else is going on. And she's just not truly a jerk because she's not been a jerk the first 2 seasons. Something is up. So we get a flashback of Heather bringing Whitney up into the argument with Jen and Angie H at the choir rehearsals. I do think Heather throws Whitney under the bus a bunch. Whitney in a confessional goes, my hope of rekindling our friendship is diminishing because I don't like this behavior. Lisa's like, you guys, I'm going to go grab a Kit Kat and get ready for the day. Dude, if you cut Lisa Barlow open, it would just be like, it would just be like a fountain, like just one of those fountain drink machines at a Circle K with just chocolate and little Taco Bell beans and just like her sit. And she's beautiful woman, beautiful family. They're all just full of just additives. It's just fresh whoop my ass. We're talking highly pasteurized additive woof. We see the ladies are gathering for breakfast and what I love about these ladies, they all rebound. They all like just freaked out on each other the night before, but everybody's like, hey, how's your morning? Coffee? Yeah. Want a little eggs? Have a little fruit. So they're all just making, talk about bacon, Lisa saying hi to Meredith. And she's like, oh, good. There's some bacon left over, bacon and berries. And Heather's like, I know, I stole some of the berries too. And Lisa's like, what are you doing? And Heather's like, I'm just trying to wake up. Where am I? What day is it? What happened? Who are my friends? Who are my enemies? She's joking, but seriously, I feel like this is a cry for help. Heather in a confessional was like, last night it felt very clear Jen was saying, pick me or pick Angie H. Angie H, of course, was the other Angie that wasn't invited on the trip. And you could just tell. By the way, I saw pictures of the reunion and Angie H actually got to be there because Jen Shah wasn't. I mean, who knows if she would get invited anyways, but you can just tell Angie H was like, I finally got invited somewhere. Woo! And like, what is Andy going to ask her? Like, hey, Angie, did you watch anything cool while these ladies were on their trip on TV? What do you do a lot of the time? So Heather goes, I'm hoping that after a good night's sleep, she's going to wake up with a clear perspective. My loyalty for Jen throughout all of these circumstances should give me a free pass. Like I've earned that. If you say friendship bank one more time, Heather Gay, I'm going to pull out all of my money from Wells Fargo. I don't even know if that's the friendship bank you're talking about, but it's just making me not trust banks. Lisa's like, what did you think of dinner last night? And Heather's like, I thought it was horrible, Then we see Jen going into Angie K's room and Jen's like, hey, and Angie's like, hi. And Jen's like, good morning. And Angie's like, good morning. You look pretty. The way these ladies rebound is shocking. They're psychopaths. They hug and Angie's like, it was a bad night. It's been a bad weekend. And Jen's like, I'm sorry. I love you. And that should have been followed with, here's $1,500 for the shoes I threw in the ocean, along with the charcuterie board that potentially killed a dolphin. We go back to the kitchen. Lisa's still talking to Heather. And remember that Heather doesn't like Lisa. Lisa doesn't really like Heather, except Lisa's willing to give Heather a chance because of the Meredith situation, because Meredith hates Lisa because of the hot mic moment. And Lisa's like, This is my take. You and Jen are not in a good spot. I feel like there's a lot of flip-flopping, and I was trying to bring that up last night. There's a lot of lies. And Heather's like, I could tell everyone was like trying to point that out, that Jen has been talking mad shit on me behind my back. And Lisa's like, it's not mad shit. It's not. It was about feelings. There's a difference. And Heather's like, well, then why was everybody calling Jen a flip-flopper? And Lisa's like, because she's flip-flopping on her feelings. Like, I don't think she was honest with you about them. We go back to Angie's room, and Jen's like, I wasn't trying to disrespect you at all. I love throw somebody's shoes in the ocean, pour champagne on their head. I wasn't trying to disrespect you. Where could you possibly have gotten that clue? And she goes, I was just trying to have fun, and I'm sorry. I didn't know you would take it like that. I'm so sorry. Always a solid apology when you're like, I didn't know you'd take it like that. So the onus is on the person, not the person apologizing. And Angie K goes, I know. I mean, you know, I'm sensitive. Of course. See, this is Jen just pulling her Gen Con thing. Like, I guess I'm a piece of shit. You know me. And I think that's one of the things that you like about me, Angie K says, is that you know I'm a good person. But I do get my feelings hurt. Do you, Angie K, do you really think Jen Shaw likes you because she thinks you're a good person? I think she likes you potentially because you have good money. She's like, I hate that conversation even came out in front of the other people, and I felt bad. I have a lot of love and respect for you and your family. And even after the shitty day we had last night, I was still there for you. And you acknowledged that, Jen. You knew that I've always been there for you. Just knowing and having you acknowledge my loyalty and friendship is important to me. Like, these girls all need like heavy therapy. I need heavy therapy too, but this is like wild. Like, Jen, thank you for acknowledging, just the fact you acknowledged it. And Angie goes, I love you too. Or Jen goes, I love you too. And Angie says, in a confessional, Jen has a pattern. She wants to take back everything she does and then expects you to move forward like nothing. But I look at Jen totally different now. Well, Angie, we wouldn't know because you just kissed her ass in another scene. And I think everything's fine again. But then in a confessional, you get all like, oh, I'm going to say what's actually going on. Say it to their face. Every time somebody says something in their confessional they didn't. This is a new rule. So bad it's good rule 2023. If this happens again in a scene, you get cattle prodded. You get cattle cattle prodded in your confessional. If she says this and she didn't say it to Jen to her face, and she gets cattle prodded. Period. So they say they're going to hit the restart button, whatever. We're back to the kitchen. Heather's like, it's important to me to be a good friend, but I think we have a very toxic relationship with Jen, all of us. Heather, ding, ding, ding. Yes. Yes. Mutiny. Get her the fuck out of the house. Call the parole board or whatever. She's done. Call the cops. She threw the property damage into the ocean. We get flashback to Jen's greatest hits throughout the seasons of the show, of her flipping out, blah, blah, blah. And Heather's like, I don't want to have to abandon her. Like one of maybe the lowest times of her life. Heather in a confessional goes, I love Jen, but the stakes keep getting raised. What before I just thought of was Jen Shaw behavior high and lows now seems to be a lot more destructive. And I feel like Lisa and I got the brunt of Jen's anger and frustration more than anybody else. I mean, once the Southern District or once she gets sentenced, I just hope people are like, I don't give a fuck what you do to me, Jen Shaw. You have no power over me. It's like believing in Freddy Krueger. Like, just don't believe in him and he goes away. Don't give Jen Shaw the power that she so desperately craves and wants, period. So basically, this scene continues, and Heather's talking about, I didn't want to come on the trip. Things have been weird with Whitney. You know, they haven't spoken at all. Remember, you know, Heather's big thing is just now manhandling Whitney in scenes and pushing her of like, and saying she's usually my go-to girl, and I've been able to hang out with her. She's going skiing with you and Jen. She's inviting you over to hot tub. Man, these ladies in their hot tubs, like, give me a little bit of grace, Heather says. By the way, Heather says grace every episode now. In fact, in last week's episode, one we'll do next, she says grace again. And I feel like this is part of the Housewives handbook that they must give like buzzwords. I feel like it's Andy on Watch What Happens Live. Like, every time Heather says grace, drink and make sure you're not driving. She's like, I'm trying hard to love you and be your friend. And Lisa's like, how do you want to handle it today? What are you hoping for today? And I was like, today I want to go knock on Jen's door and sit down and say, last night was really rough. I love you, but we're in a very toxic relationship. It's fueled by really fun times with a lot of alcohol, and it's followed up with really, really sad times with lots of tears, lots of feelings, and lots of angers and violence. And Lisa goes, that sounds honest. And Heather's like, and everyone keeps saying to me, you're not hearing me. You're making too light of this. You're not getting deep into feelings. And guess what? If if I did, I don't know that we'd stay friends. Heather, every fucking thing you say to other people that isn't Jen Shah is literally about how you shouldn't be friends with Jen Shah. Like this show is all about people not saying the things to the people that they're talking about. This show in particular, and that's why it's such a weird David Lynchian vibe, this Willy Wonka kind of otherworldly vibe with Salt Lake in particular, because it's a bunch of ladies talking about how they really feel about the other lady to the other ladies and not the lady that they feel that way to. The lady they feel that way to, they say they love and adore and they have the best time, but it's just a mess. So the ladies are getting ready to leave for the beach, and Lisa in a confessional is like, I'm excited for a beach day. You know, this is definitely not Turks and queso. I said queso. Oh my gosh, this is not like Turks and Caicos? You know, I was hoping for like Turks and Caicos with like white sand beaches, but it's better than the frigid cold. Don't use that, you guys. Don't use that. And of course, the producers use that. Jen goes, you guys, we got to go though. Is everybody ready? The ladies all go to the Sprinter van where there are cameras in the Sprinter van for a beach picnic and a competition setup. These are one of those times where we're about to see some beach scenes where they play games. And I'm like, yo, this ain't the challenge on MTV, man. Just put him in a bar, put him on a couch, like just drive him around in a Sprinter van for 8 hours. I don't need to see him get dressed up into like fucking sumo outfits. Anyway, so we have these gang and always like the poor people. They're like, hey, I'm Randy, and this is Angie, and we're here to help you play beach games. And anyway, so they're playing games, they're putting their beach chairs down. And Heather asks Angie K, what's her first girls trip like? And she's like, day one, I called Sean and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home. And Dana Banana, who barely talks, and I like Dana Banana because she calls it as she sees it. I just wish she had more airtime and more things that she would say. But being the voice of reason, you're always going to stomp that voice of reason out. You're like, wait a sec, you think too clearly. And I know that Dana Banana gets into it with Jen at some point because she's in that trailer going, I won't put money on your books, Jen, and gets into it with Jen. So I can't wait for that Dana Banana to come out. But I like Dana. She's just not in it a lot or enough for my liking. So Dana's like, oh, I know. I was like, book my next flight home. So they're all commiserating about how scary the first girls trip is. And I get that. So we get a flashback to the van ride to the beach when Angie tells everyone that she and Jen made up. So we do a flashback, even though they could have just shown us this scene on the way to the beach, but they're like, let's surprise the audience and get them to the beach. And then we'll flash back to the drive to the beach just so they really get confused. Angie K in this flashback's like, I mean, yesterday I told them, I said, I don't even know if I can be friends with her anymore. That's how I'm feeling right now. And Heather's like, yeah, I've been there. What did she say? And Angie K goes, you know what? She felt really bad. I mean, she views me as family. She's talking about Jen Shah. I don't think she really realized how uncomfortable it was going to make everybody. And I'm like, dude, have you seen Salt Lake? Heather's like, do you feel like she felt like you checked her and she was not expecting that? And Angie K goes, yeah. And I'm like, I don't think Jen felt that. Heather in a confessional goes, I don't know why there's so much conflict with us, but I know I don't want there to be conflict. And so with Jen and Lisa, I want this to be discussed and resolved so that we can all move forward as friends. There should have been I don't know why there's so much conflict with us, but I know I don't want there to be conflict. You should have just seen a hand, like a producer's hand, just come and slap Heather Gay's head. Maybe that's where she got the black eye. Whitney, Dana, Angie K, Meredith go to the beach and go surfing while Jen, Heather, and Lisa go to lunch. Now, this is going to be, this is going to be dicey. We'll get into this a little bit and try to, I do want to talk about trigger warnings because we do talk about, harming yourself and suicide and things like that. So that's the scene that's coming up. So I just want to warn people in advance if you want to fast forward. I know that, of course, is very triggering for some people, myself included. So Heather in a confessional is like, I'm dreading this conversation with Jen. And now we're adding allergic reactions as a possible hazard because Jen just revealed she has a seafood allergy, which I checked a lot of the prison menus. I just did that story yesterday on the prison holiday meals. Jen's all in the clear. They do not serve any kind of lobster, crab, really any shellfish. I mean, they no muscles, no they do. Yeah, no, there's no. Yeah, you're good on prison on that case. But Jen reveals she has this allergy, and Heather's like, "Oh, great! Oh, now she has an allergy too. I'm already responsible for the Chris Harrington webpage, which is the Finsta Instagram account. Shaw exposed. And now I'm going to be responsible for a trip to the ER." And Heather goes, "I have to say, today was great. Fun day." And Jen goes, "I think we all had fun." And Heather goes, "Yesterday was like," and Lisa goes, "Horrible." And Heather goes, "It was really hard for you. And you know what I mean?" And Jen goes, "Yeah." And Heather goes, "How do you feel when you woke up?" And Jen goes, "Unsure of what was going on." And Lisa goes, "Yesterday was rough for me because I think like it started off so rough. And then like on the boat, I was even more uncomfortable because I thought you and I were fine. And I'm sorry." And Jen goes, "You and I are fine. I think I was bugged with you, Lisa, because obviously I'm not a mean person." Hold for laughter, everybody. Let's hold for laughter. Okay. Okay, you're not a mean person. She goes, "I'm not just going to throw champagne on someone. I was trying to lighten it up." Once again, she is going with the carrot top prop comic of like, "I'm a prop comic. That's what I do. I use props to make people laugh. I'm like Patch Adams with alcohol." I just felt like you didn't even give me the chance to like, I don't know. We didn't talk about it, whatever. This is a perfect Gen Con paragraph. A lie that builds into, I'm great, not a mean person. So a compliment for herself. And then also a complete falling apart at the end, but goes, "I didn't even get a chance to let but whatever." And Lisa goes, "Yeah." And Jen goes, "So I'm sorry if I was mean to you because you were like over there with Angie." And Lisa goes, "Jen, it's hard for me because I'm going to be super honest with you. I'm sensitive when it comes to you. You're my friend and I care about you. I literally will like temper myself in things and like want to like make you feel like good. I know you're going through a lot, but sometimes it's hard because like yesterday I was like, 'Jen, are you my friend? Say you're my friend.' And you wouldn't even say it." And Jen goes, "Of course. Oh, I mean, well, I was mad at Angie." And Lisa goes, "I need to hear it. I was mad at Angie. I'm sorry." And that was the brunt of it. And Heather goes, "We need to talk about everything that went down yesterday, Jen, especially what went down with us at dinner. Because the last thing we really ended is that you gave me an ultimatum. Do you think our relationship is toxic?" Dun, dun, dun. Commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Jen goes, "Yeah, because you know what? We hashed this out at my house and I told you, are you okay with what Angie did? And are you going to continue to be friends?" And Heather goes, "Are you unclear on me being okay with what she did? Are you unclear on that?" And Jen goes, "I feel like you flip-flop all the time. That's the problem." Heather goes, "Flip-flop? How have I flip-flopped?" And Jen goes, "You're still friends with her. You didn't hold her accountable." I love that Jen Shaw is telling Heather that she needs to be accountable for her friend's horrible social media etiquette. When at the same token, Jen is fucking toxic enemy number one on Twitter. I mean, now that Beverly Hills is over and Lisa Rinna is not on there anymore, but Jen is a steaming pile of messy shit on social media. And still to this day, even near sentencing, she's still running her mouth on Twitter. Like on Wednesday nights, her family needs to take that phone away and chuck it into the ocean like it's a pair of Angie K's shoes. So Jen's like, "You're still friends with her. You didn't hold her accountable." And Heather's like, "I thought we resolved that. I thought you understood." And Lisa's like, "Can I just say something?" Lisa, of course, like, "Can we bring it back to me?" And Heather goes, "This is bigger than all of us." And Lisa goes, "Let's remove that from the conversation. That was hurtful." And Heather goes, "I thought you forgave me and we were good. We were good when I left your couch that day." And Jen goes, "Yes, we were." We get a flashback to Jen telling Heather about the Shaw Exposed Instagram. Okay, we saw that Jen anymore. And then Heather goes, "And how do you think I feel finding out 2 days later you're in the hot tub at Whitney's house talking shit on me? How do you think I feel knowing that you did another scene in a body of water talking shit about me?" And Jen goes, "I didn't, Heather." We get a flashback to the hot tub and Jen is talking about Heather a lot in the hot tub. In the hot tub, talking shit in the hot tub. Hit hot, hood hot, talking shit in the hot tub, about Heather Gay in the hot tub. Heather's like, "With you, it's ride or die or you're dead to me." And Jen goes, "No, that's not true." And Lisa goes, "I think the bottom line is I want to be around you and you not have to worry about what the fuck is going to happen today. Like, Jen, my world has been rocked for like the last 24 hours. Lisa, just like, this is like, I would love when people aren't listening to people. And then Lisa's like, let me remind you about me, Lisa Barlow. And Jen goes, I don't even know what this is about. And Heather goes, you know what it's about. The cycle of one day I'm throwing shoes over the yacht with you and laughing and feeling like the sun's shining, but the sun doesn't shine on the same dog's ass every day. Weird example, Heather. And it even could have been my shoes if things had gone a different way. Heather, nobody cares about your Payless shoes. And Heather goes, and that is terrifying and toxic. And Jen goes, I am not terrifying and toxic. Hold for laughs. Hold for laughs. What we're going to stop doing. And Heather goes, our relationship is, and Jen goes, and you want to know why it is? Because you flip-flop. And Heather goes, because of me? You flip-flop, Heather. I flip-flop? So if I behave correctly, you treat me better. No, because your actions don't align with what you verbally tell me. Because when you sat in my house, figure it out, Jen, Heather says. And Jen goes, no, you figure it out because you flip-flop so much. You should be wearing some flip-flops. Holy shit, that is the worst line in Housewives history. You flip-flop so much, you should be wearing some flip-flops. That sounds like one of the theater, like unique New York, like a warm-up exercise. You should be, you flip-flop so much, you should be wearing flip-flops. Flip-flop. Heather in a confessional goes, I can see her wheels turning. Lisa and I are holding Jen accountable, and I can see on her face that she does not like what she's hearing and she does not want to hear anymore. Heather goes, I love you and I care about you, Jen. But when I came to San Diego and saw it go from co-host to champagne in the face, but then it escalated. And then it came at Lisa. And then to have it circle back and be all about like me and an ultimatum. And Jen goes, I never gave you an ultimatum. And Heather goes, I have to choose between you and Angie. Jen goes, let me finish, please. I almost committed suicide. I tried to, okay? Because your friend is heartless and decided to drag me and my entire family. And Heather's like, okay. And Jen's like, because Omar and Sharif weren't going to have a mom. Sharif wasn't going to have a wife. Jen in the confessional goes, I've always felt like a pretty strong person, but when I found out about Shaw Exposed, it came on a day when there was a lot of negativity about the trial. And I got to the point that day where I was done. I locked myself in the bathroom and Coach was so scared, he had to kick the door down because he didn't know what I was going to do. And Coach had to take me to the hospital. I was there for 2.5 days. Nobody would lie about this, right? Right? Tell me, right? I hate these shows because first off, if this happened, and like I said before, Jen Shaw shouldn't be on this season. This is really serious. When you take your life or try to take your life, it's a very, very, I mean, I've known people who have done that and who have tried to have done that. And it's just, it's so horrifying. It's so horrible. And I like to make fun of these shows. I like to laugh with them. And this is horrifying. It's also horrifying that there's like this little piece in the back of your head that is like, well, did this happen? Is this another one of Jen's lies? But nobody would lie about this. But at the same time, then I was going back and I was like looking at her bathroom in other episodes, seeing if a door was kicked in. But if you were in a hospital for 2.5 days, like, why are you filming? Why is production allowing you to film? Why is Coach allowing you to film? I know you might need money, but really? We even just found out that this season of the show and your behavior actually hurt your sentencing. It's counting against you, your behavior. Also, there are so many bad things happening to Jen Shaw right now that you can understand where somebody would want to potentially harm themselves to take themselves away from this pain. Of course, I don't have to say that this would, of course, make her 2 sons and Coach just unbearable grief even more than what a prison sentence would do. And I'm so glad that she wasn't successful if this happened. I'm really, all joking aside, but it is one of those things is that these kind of things shut down a conversation. And also it wakes you up when you're watching this show and you're enjoying, or not even enjoying, but it's just ridiculous, the show. And then something like this is just stark and sobering and really, really dark. And you can't really, it shuts down that conversation. Like you can't, Heather and Lisa can't have a conversation with Jen now. She introduced harming herself now. And the other thing is the Shaw Exposed account. It's horrible, right? But we've all seen things worse said about Jen, and we've all seen Jen say worse things about other people. If you go see this Shaw exposed account, which is actually not even run by Angie anymore, Angie gave it to Jen Shaw. So Jen Shaw or whoever on her team is running that account, and it's pro Jen Shaw now. But it wasn't about Jen Shaw. It was attacking Lisa Barlow. A really fucking dumb name for an account attacking Lisa Barlow. But Lisa Barlow was the one in the comments that they were really going after. So I was just like, this is what did it? Like, I consume this stuff 24 hours a day, you guys. This has turned into my life and has been for a couple of years now. And I wasn't aware of this account. I am now because of the show, but I did know a couple of accounts that were very not Jen friendly that I was like, well, what about this account? I mean, this must have really hurt you too. But it was this account that was picked out. And I don't know. You have to believe Jen because you just don't want to believe anybody would ever make something like that up. But I do hope I would hope production would have something in place where if this happened in the timeline she's saying when she found this out, that was during filming. So production knew that she took her life and was out for 2.5 days and then let her come back to film. And she tried to take her life because of something that was a direct plot line on the show. You guys see what I'm saying? Like where my confusion lies? Because I know everybody's like, well, they want their entertainment. I'm like, they do, but come on. Bravo's not monsters. They're just not. They want an entertaining housewife shows of petty drama and lies. But sometimes I think they know, come on. Like I just don't believe that Bravo's like, great, good for us. She tried to harm herself. Let's keep her filming. Like I find that hard to believe. I wish I knew more about this, but so this conversation gets brought up and Jen's like, you guys have no fucking idea. You have no idea. The bullying is not okay. And Heather's like, I don't think it's okay. I love you. And I've been ride or die for you. It's not that. It's about our dynamic. And Jen goes, do you know how hard it was for me to even talk to you? Because I do love and care. You hurt my fucking feelings. And Heather's like, I get it. You need to recognize the cycle. And Jen goes, oh, I need to recognize the cycle. You all have cycles. It's my fucking fault. And she walks away. The bullying line, like this is just, I think she is just a very troubled woman. And I think she is so used to, and I'm not talking about harming herself, but she's so used to lying in conversations and arguments because I think every relationship and every conversation is a chess game to Jen Shaw. And she wins most of the time, or and she is such a huge personality and so charming. And if she used her personality for good, I think would be incredible. I mean, truly could be a historic housewife for something other than going to prison. But she's used it. I mean, like even in this conversation, you read it back, like, it's like I always say I studied theater. And so you read it back like a script and you're going like, oh my God, the beats are all here. You can see where she switches tactics because it doesn't go her way. And then her vocal range goes up. The yelling starts because she can't go soft. And if that doesn't work, she can bring the tears on. And if that doesn't work, she just leaves scene, exit right. Lisa in a confession goes, the conversation's over. I mean, the bottom line is Jen just dropped something so heavy, Bob the Builder couldn't even move it. Solid Bob the Builder reference, Lisa. Nice. Heather's like, I'm not going to pile on a friend, but I feel like she's once again upping the ante. So heavy, federal indictment, suicide. And Lisa goes, you're validated in your feelings. I hope you know that. We're going to back each other. And Heather's like, let's stop making it about our issues, which we can work through slowly but surely. Let's be a united front in supporting our friend Jen, but also recognizing her toxic behavior and being able to vent to each other about it. This is dark shit, you guys. This is like, let's be a great friend to Jen, but also realize she's completely toxic and potentially ruins people's relationships. Jen walks back to the table. Lisa's like, listen, Jen, I had no idea. I had no idea. I learned new stuff today. I just used a Bob the Builder reference in my talking head. Like, you know about why you went to the hospital? Nobody wants you to feel that way. And Jen goes, I am done. Please, please. So they're going, but Lisa's like, I'm your friend. That's all I want you to know. And Jen goes, what the fuck do I have to say? When I finally kill myself, everybody will be like, oh, she was telling the truth. God forbid, I pray that doesn't, that's horrifying. I mean, that's like when I just wish like, God, cameras down, guys, send her home. Jen, Lisa, and Heather get back in the van to go home. We see the other ladies in the car headed back to the house too. So everybody's going back to the house. Angie K goes, I was going to share something with you, Whitney. I was sitting by Heather on the beach and she was very open about you. And I'm hoping you'll be able to talk to her. And Whitney's like, Heather is my very good friend and I love her. and we have an awkward situation right now. In a confessional, Whitney goes, I really only see two pathways for Heather and I to get back to the way things were. It's either I just let it go and sweep under the rug, or Heather's going to have to realize she hurt me. And she's gonna have to take accountability and hear me out. The ladies go to the kitchen. Dana offers to make coffee, but Whitney says, no, we're drinking wine. And Whitney's like, I'm really excited to see everyone's Marilyn-inspired looks tonight. But don't worry, just do your makeup because I got your hair covered. They're doing a Marilyn. Look out, Kim Kardashian and the Met Gala. Look out, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Whitney bought some wigs off Amazon. Whitney in a confessional is, from a young age, I have been obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, and everyone knows I love a theme party and a dress up party. And we get a flashback to all those parties. Maybe we'll finally say how we feel if we don't recognize each other. Angie K goes, this better not be a cheap wig because I don't choose to outlook that way. And Whitney goes, oh, they're cheap wigs. Back to the Sprinter van, Jen's crying. Heather and Lisa are consoling her. Heather in confessional was like, Jen and I have a very complicated relationship because that's kind of what our friendship is. I went to lunch wanting to like criticize her, and now I just want to like support her and let her know she's loved. It's almost like Jen Shaw, whatever she did, it worked on Heather because she forgot about her issues with her and just wants to love her now. And Heather goes, Jen, are we turning up tonight? And Jen's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And Heather goes, isn't it Marilyn Monroe? And Lisa goes, oh my God. And Heather in the confessional goes, hope is not lost. We're distraught, but we are not broken. We're going to buck up. We're going to get some glam. We're going to get some water, and we're going to rally just like Marilyn Monroe would expect us to do. Heather, Marilyn Monroe doesn't give a fuck what you do. Like, honestly, like, Marilyn's like, geez, please do not. I'm literally laying out in heaven right now, and I'm hearing you guys speak my name. I already had that Anna de Armas movie and Pete Davidson and the Kim Kardashian shit, but now I have to come down for a Salt Lake thing so you guys can party well. We come back from commercial break. Everybody's getting ready, and Whitney's delivering the wigs. We see everybody getting glam. Jen, by the way, Jen Shaw, ladies and gentlemen, has the most glam there of all the ladies. She has a full, like, this room that looks like just all wigs and shit. It's like, how much money? Like, is this Angie money that should have been going to Coach Shaw's birthday party in that room? The ladies are leaving for dinner, and Jen is late, so she has to run out to catch the van. And Jen in a confessional goes, I may not be on time, but I look Gucci. I'm like, whatever. The ladies arrive at a restaurant called Barrel and Board. It's a restaurant that serves only charcuterie boards. Lady boner time, charcuterie. The only thing that can make these Salt Lake ladies more excited right now if it was a restaurant that was in a hot tub, like Barrel and Board and tubs, charcuterie boards in a hot tub. Whitney in a confession goes, we all know these women love a charcuterie board, so what better place to have dinner than a place that only serves charcuterie? The ladies order margarita flights, champagne, everything gets going. They talk about surfing earlier. Meredith asks about lunch with Jen, and Meredith's like, Jen, Lisa, Heather, what went on when you guys left us starving and you guys went dining? And Angie K goes, yeah, how was lunch? And there's an awkward silence. And Heather goes, lunch was kind of like our relationship. It was hard and there were highs and lows. And Whitney goes, do you feel like you got anywhere? Like it was good? And Jen goes, we're not going to bring that up right now because it's way too fucking personal and it's way too emotional. Jen, you can also just say, yeah, it was good. Yeah, no, good. It was good. It was fun. Good. Okay, cool. Anyways, what's everybody having for an appetizer? You don't have to go, it's way too fucking personal. Whitney goes, but when you say we, do you mean the three of you or you two? That's all I want to know. Because Whitney wants to know if Heather and Jen talked or Heather, Jen, and Lisa talked. And Jen's like, the three of us. And Whitney goes, oh, another awkward pause. And Jen goes, okay, do you want me to break it down for you? Because you want to know, you're digging, you want to know. And when he's like, I'm not digging, I'm asking. I told him I tried to commit suicide, and then Sharif had to take me to hospital. And that's why Angie, Chris Harrington thing hit my husband so hard, because I did try to take my life. So are we good? Is that what you wanted to know? Because you want to dig and dig and dig. And Whitney's like, because Whitney literally goes, can I ask a question? Are you guys all good? Oh, there you go. Digging again. Dig, 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 dig. I just wanted to know. Oh, dig. I swear to God, Whitney reminds me so much of Garth from Wayne's World. If you're going to spew in this. Party on, Wayne. Whitney in a confessional is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. pump the brakes. Like, I wasn't at the lunch. I don't know that they talked about her attempted suicide. Like, don't you think I should get a hall pass on this one? Because I have no idea what y'all talked about. Jen goes, since you're being very inquisitive right now, I have some questions. It kept coming up at lunch today where Heather kept saying, Jen, you talked all this shit about me in Whitney's hot tub. And when he's like, we were having a conversation about you, and I agreed that we want to talk to Heather. And Jen's like, but why don't you tell Heather how you feel, since we're all putting our feelings on the table? We come back and Whitney goes, I have multiple times. And Jen goes, well, tell her in front of us. How did it, once again, this power dynamic switch up where they're like, how was the lunch? Tried to hurt myself. Anyways, Whitney, you son of a bitch. Heather's like, I don't think you have. And Jen goes, I think the messages are mixed. And Heather goes, I am horrified, but also I do want to point out all these ladies are dressed like Marilyn. If Marilyn had just been like in a potato sack, just stomped on, they all just, I mean, some of them look okay, just some wild looks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wish the lighting was darker in the scene. It's a lot. It's a lot. And they're yelling on top of it. It's not doing anything for Marilyn Monroe estate should sue. So Heather's like, I'm horrified. I didn't realize that there were still unfinished feelings and unfinished conversations to have. It's news to me, so I'd like to hear it. Heather has no problem talking and standing up to Whitney because everybody thinks Whitney's a lesser person because she has a light voice. Nobody has a problem standing up to Whitney. Everybody has a problem standing up to Jen. Jen says one thing, Heather backs down like, oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Chaw. I'm so sorry. But with Whitney, no, it's all systems go. Lisa's like, Heather, you've heard it all. You've heard it all. And Heather goes, then why is she telling you guys and not me? Why is it still an issue? Because I have told you multiple times and you don't hear me. Okay, so there's no resolve. Every time I tried to tell you how I'm feeling, tell me what though? You deflect, you get defensive and you leave. We get all these flashbacks of examples of Heather doing this. And Jen goes, so you've never actually gotten to tell her? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I've tried many times. Heather goes, well, then tell me now. Tell me now. Tell me now. I've never actually, because it seems like you've been at the source of a lot of this stuff and like, you're my girl. I'm not the source of any of it. Do you know who puts me at the source? It's you. Because when you are in turmoil, the source is me. Yeah, you pulled me in and wrote me into it. Flashback to Heather bringing up Whitney when she and Jen were arguing over Angie H at the luau. Whitney's like, last night when you were both getting to a point of resolving your issues, you would then take it and spin it and try to make it something that and Jen's like, Whitney, I think you need to be very careful right now because that's not what happened. Heather goes, yeah, that's not what happened. Yeah, what Jen said. And Whitney's like, that is exactly what happened. And Jen's like, no, everybody at this table, Whitney, I'm telling you, that is not what happened. And Jen's like, do not make me throw some kind of weird excuse to get everybody to shut up again. Lisa in a confessional is like, I'm having deja vu right now. I know what's happening here. If it doesn't suit a narrative Jen and Heather want, that's when you have a problem with Heather and Jen. It doesn't matter if it's based in lies, made up stuff. Not really. It doesn't matter. If you don't go along with it, you're the problem. And Lisa's like, Whitney's saying she just wanted Jen to talk to you and for all of us to be out of it. And Heather's like, I would never intentionally do anything to hurt you. And I would never say anything otherwise. And anyone at this table, have I ever said anything otherwise? We get a flashback to Heather telling Whitney she lost her as a friend in Scottsdale. You just lost me as a friend. Whitney's like, Heather, look at me. And Heather's like, I would like to hear it. Have I ever said anything otherwise? Heather, look at me. But she has said otherwise to all of you, and that's a big thing. No, look at me, Heather. Why are you? See, she's roping everyone in. Do you see what I'm saying? This is my point. Every time I try to speak and make my point, you cut me off. You get defensive and you deflect. Okay, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Go. No, I just asked you 5 times to hear me. It's yours. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. What do you need? Okay, I'm listening. No, you're not. Heather in a confessional goes, I'm confused on what planet Whitney is living on. This feels like Alice in Wonderland, and I'm talking to the Cheshire Cat, but you're not listening, but you're not hearing, but your ears aren't open, but you don't understand. What am I not listening or hearing? What? This is what I got to say. Heather's on a different planet this season, man. And I'm telling you, you guys, there's a lot of weird, like sometimes hate for Whitney. And I don't get it because what Whitney is saying here is dead on. Read back the transcripts, court reporter, please.
It's dead on correct. It's just that she says it in this baby voice, so it gets overpowered very easily, and it's hard to hear on the ears sometimes, and we zone out on it, so it's sometimes we don't hear as an audience. I'm telling you guys, listen, I would be lovely to be the first to say but like Whitney is right on this. Trust me. Whitney goes, you don't hear me when I have needed you. You say you don't remember the conversation. You don't remember. And Heather goes, when have I needed you? When you were saying a rumor that I never signed up for? We get a flashback to Heather denying those rumors in Arizona about, knowing about Lisa cheating, at the basketball game. And Whitney goes, because I know that you know about the rumor. And Heather goes, be specific. You said it yourself in LA that you know all this information about Lisa. And Meredith goes, but Whitney, you said I started a rumor that I never heard either. Meredith, of course, listen, Meredith, congratulations. I mean, literally, I thought I held grudges for a long time. I feel like on Meredith's tombstone, it's going to be something like, and by the way, Lisa Barlow's companies are a horrible failure. Don't listen to anything she said about my husband, Seth, and his 4,000 employees. Like, she is not going to ever let this go. It will never be let go. It will, she's going to take this to the grave. Whitney goes, I've taken accountability and Meredith goes, no, you haven't. And Whitney goes, have I not, Lisa? Lisa goes, I feel like she's taken 100% accountability. You told Heather. Are you kidding me? You told Jen. Lisa has told John. You have told Seth that I started these rumors, which did not happen. Meredith is just full. And like this once again, it's like, how did this get on Whitney? Whitney goes, I've taken accountability and everyone's using it to skirt around the fact that they talked shit about Lisa. In a confessional, Whitney goes, can we give Meredith some bread to soak up some of the alcohol? Because clearly she doesn't remember that we've already gone over this about a gazillion times. You started talking about Lisa first. I piled on with what I knew. Back in the scene, Whitney's like, I have never ever said you started the rumors, Meredith. You came to my house and that's when we talked about it. I am sorry that you feel like I have betrayed your trust, but I swear to God, the way I remember it is that it was so awkward when you arrived at my house, I had to do my dishes. We get a flashback to earlier scene of the scene and Whitney's unloading her dishwasher. I'm like, you guys, I don't need a flashback for everything. I trust you, really. Honestly, I'm not like, she is unloading a dishwasher and Meredith is in this scene. Whitney goes, because I didn't know what to do with that energy. And Meredith's like, the conversation didn't even start till we were outside. I know, but you walked in. So like, I knew I'm a vibe girl. You came in uncomfortable because you knew we were going to have a conversation. Meredith rolls her eyes and Lisa goes, I think in Scottsdale, all Whitney was pointing out was the hypocrisy of our friend group. Like, you have to say sorry. You have to say sorry. You're a horrible person. You're a horrible person when everybody is fucked up in this friend group. Am I wrong? What everyone needs to realize here is you have to be accountable to what the portion that played in it. Heather goes, we're talking about honestly. We're talking about honesty and accountability. Like, she has not admitted to me that she's said one even thing contrary to me in the hot tub. And Jen goes, okay, so at the hot tub, Whitney told us she was taking a friend break from you. And Heather goes, oh shit, news to me. Every time I try, news to me, because you don't care how I feel. A friendship break? Yeah, that's what this is. Okay, well, in this group, you're going to take a friendship break from me. Good to know. And Jen goes, wait, I thought you guys talked about this. This is like a who's on first? Who's on first? I don't know. What's on second? Who's on third? Jen's like, Heather goes, absolutely not. Never said a word. Every time I see her, we love each other. We show up in the matching outfits. And Whitney goes, no. Heather's like, everything's good. Whitney goes, every time we see each other, this is what happens. And Heather goes, that's fully bullshit that you would tell people that you say to your worst enemies in the world that we're on a friendship break. Glad to know. You ladies are all in your like close to 40s or something. And you're like fighting about a term like friendship break. This is fucking not Ross and Rachel. What the fuck? When he's like, they're not my worst enemies in the world. And Heather's like, team up, sister, because that's complete bullshit. And I have not done anything to deserve that. And you know what? For me, loyalty is the fucking deal breaker. So deal broken. And Angie K goes, did you really not feel her absent in your life? And Heather goes, I've sensed it every single minute. And Jen goes, can I break something down real quick from an outside perspective? Why not, Jen? You seem like totally clear-headed and totally normal and totally willing to say honestly everything that's happening. And Whitney goes, please. And Jen goes, when we were in the hot tub, basically Whitney said, I didn't give you guys a chance. I didn't get to know you because I just did what Heather told me. And Heather goes, but I'm ride or die for Jen. So why would you? And Whitney goes, exactly. Because sometimes I feel like, Heather, what the fuck? You give Jen so many graces and chances when I feel like I haven't been in as big of fights as you two have. So when she shows you more loyalty than me, it hurts me. And Jen goes, I get it. I get it. I mean, that's it right there, you guys. That's somebody being open and vulnerable and saying like, yo, I thought we were special friends, but I see you give nutty Jen like bend over backwards in the weirdest ways for this woman. Whitney in a confessional goes, I do not understand Heather and Jen's relationship because it's very toxic, but Heather is blindly loyal to Jen, someone who treats her like shit. Why don't I get the same loyalty as her family and her closest friend? And Heather's like, because my love for you is overpowering this bullshit that you're trying to stir up. Heather, when he goes, okay, that's it right there. That's it right there. Bullshit. This is not bullshit. I know. Heather goes, to me, it feels like a little bit of bullshit. Well, okay, this is why we're on a friend break, because our issue is not that deep. And the fact that we can't have a conversation about it is why we're on a friendship break. You made it very deep right now. And the truth is, Lisa is going to bat for you. No, what's deep about it? Heather goes, like, I haven't heard of anything about these rumors if I hadn't talked to you, which is exactly what Meredith was saying. And Whitney goes, you still won't listen, Heather. You're talking over me. You're deflecting me and you're getting louder than me and pointing your finger in my face. And Heather goes, I'm being silent as a mouse. So let's hear it. No, I have. Like, give it to me right now. Now you don't want the opportunity? No, because it shatters me. Now's not the right time. So now it just, you're fucking still doing it right now, Heather. And Heather goes, then speak and say what you want to say. And then Heather goes, I have. No, she goes, I have. And she stands up from the table. And Heather goes, then say it again. It shouldn't be that hard if you said it a million times to everyone in the room except for me. I just said it to you and you did not. I'm sorry that I did not hear you. And I'm also sorry that you've hated Lisa until this very moment. And Lisa goes, Heather, don't say that. And Heather goes, and now you're like flipping and you love her. No, Heather, that's when you need to stop. Why is it bad that we're having progression? I actually feel reprieved. I love that Lisa's like, wait, what? No, wait. Heather goes, because guess what? 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. No one has had more bad things to say about you than Whitney Rose. Heather, by the way, talk about shitty friend right there. Lisa in a confessional goes, Whitney and I have already discussed the fact that she talked badly about me a year ago. That's not the issue here. Heather, you're the issue here right now. You're not listening to Whitney and you're trying to make it about everybody else but you, so you don't have to deal with it, but we're going to deal with it. Whitney returns to the table and Andy's like, are you okay? She's like, no, I'm not okay. And I was like, what would you like to hear now? Everyone be quiet so I can hear Whitney. That's demeaning. Don't do that, please. And Meredith's like, Heather goes, I just said, everyone be quiet so I can hear what Whitney's saying to me. And Meredith goes, you're saying things at face value and attributing other meanings because of the dynamic that's going on right now. Oh, wow. Okay, Meredith. Jen goes, whispering to Angie K, this shit is messy over there. Just so you know it is. And Angie goes, over where? Right there. Okay. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Jen. Meredith goes, come in at face value to give face value. And Heather goes, that sounds like a Whitney problem. And Meredith goes, and let's move on. Speak. Angie K goes, hey, Heather. And Whitney goes, Heather, you are my really good friend, but I'm trying to tell you that I have to have a boundary and space because Heather goes, friendship break is the term you use with these guys. You invited them over to a hot tub party and you talk friendship break. And Lisa goes, no, she didn't. You didn't ever use friendship break. She never used that term. You know what she said? Boundary. And Heather goes, Lisa, let Whitney speak. She wants to be heard. It's such a mess. Jen in the confessional goes, listen, I see what Heather's doing right now. I see the issue that Whitney has, but hey, Whitney, find your itty bitty voice, bitch, and talk. This is the time when you need to use that voice that you've been trying to find for the last 3 years. Also, this is funny because in the confessional, Jen's in that little Miss Monopoly hat. When he goes, this is the point. No one ever lets me say this. This is why I'm having the boundary, is because she said this is bullshit. And Heather's like, boundary, take a break, take a well. When he goes, you're saying our friendship is bullshit, that I am bullshit. That is why I'm putting up a boundary, because that fucking hurts me, Heather. It hurts. I literally told you that I am processing childhood abuse, and then you lay hands on me and push me. We get a flashback to Heather pushing her in Scottsdale. You're not hearing me. You're not listening to me. Every time I talk, you talk over me. Whitney in a confessional says, what I've learned throughout the process this last year is that I have major trust issues. And Heather, aside from Justin, is the person that I fully trusted. So I just feel deeply let down by Heather. Like, I don't think I've felt this let down by a friend before. I mean, this is just somebody telling the fucking honest truth about their feelings, about how they feel. I mean, there's not tons of finger pointing. It's talking about how she feels, how Heather makes her feel. Whitney goes, I'm trying to be real, and you're making a mockery of it by calling it bullshit and immature and messy. That is how I feel. And Heather goes, when did I say those words? I said this is bullshit. Oh, you've said these words many times. I've never said you're bullshit. I have your products in my store. I have showed up for you continually. I have fought every battle that has come across me. Oh my, I carry your products in my, well, I guess all's forgiven. Jen Shaw's like, wait a sec. Would you carry a couple fake products that I sell? And Heather goes, and now you want to throw me to the wolves. You tell her everything we've ever talked about, supposedly. And Lisa goes, listen, I think everybody here wanted to believe what the world says about me. And Heather goes, and you say that you're a truth seeker, but really you're just going to like climb up her asshole as far as you can so you can feel safe. I hope you feel safe. Heather, by the way, knows all about climbing up assholes because she currently lives in Jen Shaw's. Whitney goes, I am not up Lisa's asshole. And Lisa's like, no, for real. I wouldn't know if she was up there. What's up there right now is just a lot of fast food. Heather goes, go for it. And Lisa goes, how did this become about me? I have nothing to do with the issues between Heather and Whitney. I feel I'm at the state fair and they're like trying to win the prize and I'm the plushie. Heather goes, I'm sorry that you didn't feel heard, Whitney. I'm sorry that you feel hurt by our friendship. I'm sorry that you feel like you would have had a wonderful friendship with Lisa if it weren't for me. Whitney goes, see, you're using sarcasm right now. No, I'm being sincere. And Dana Banana goes, by the way, you do say that passive aggressive. And Whitney goes, but then you backtrack, Heather. And Heather goes, you guys don't know the intention of what I say. Just take my words for what they are. That's ridiculously petty. Interpret our friendship any way you want. You interpret it in a different way than me. But like Heather does. Heather is passive aggressive. Heather is sarcastic. That's Heather's thing. And we used to love her for it. But this ain't funny anymore. When he's like, no, don't try. This is gaslighting at its finest to make me feel like I'm going crazy. And you are quite honestly still not hearing me. And I'm not accepting your apology because you are putting me right back in the position I don't want to be in. I literally am going through this trauma from processing this from my childhood. I don't like that I have to scream and yell for people to hear me. Heather's like, I hear you. I'm sorry this happened to you. When he's like, I don't want to be in this position. I'm sorry. It's not about what happened to me. It is not. So this conversation just keeps going in circles, but I feel like it's basically the same thing of Whitney's like, you're not listening. Oh, then go ahead, talk. I am talking. Then go ahead and talk louder. It just, anyways, Lisa's like, I need to take a breather. And Jen's like, don't do it, Lisa. And Whitney's like, no more breathers. And Heather's like, great. Well, then we're done. We're good. Let's go home. Whitney's like, my intention is not, Heather, look at me. Please look at me. Heather is literally pouring herself a drink and turned the other way. When he's like, Heather, can you hear my voice? Heather in a confessional goes, I feel absolutely betrayed. I don't recognize why she's acting this way. And I feel like I'm getting sick of giving her grace. We said the word grace again when it comes to the way that she's betraying me. And Jen goes, clearly shit was not actually resolved tonight. Well, thanks, Jen. You started it off great today. Dana Banana goes, let's just go to the club. Let's go do something. Lisa goes, I'll go to the club if I can go like Lisa. And she takes off her Marilyn wig. And Dana's like, we're going out. And Jen's like, we're turning up. These ladies rally. They head to the restaurant bar and Jen goes, I'll tell you what's fucked up, that you didn't know about her friendship break because she told all of us that. And I was like, wow. And Heather goes, I didn't know about that. That's a heartbreaker. That's a fucking heartbreaker. And Jen goes, that's why I was so fucking confused. This is a way of just inuring Heather to Jen. Jen's like, oh, Jen, you were one of the ones in the hot tub. If you felt so strongly about it, you should have shut Whitney up in that hot tub. Angie K goes, you didn't really notice that she stopped calling you? And Heather goes, listen, to me, I ride or die for all the people I love. I swear to God, ride or die needs to be bleeped out like it's the strongest curse word ever on Bravo. We don't need to hear it. I love including her, and there's some shit I won't eat. I'm being for real, and Jen knows this. Don't fuck with me. Jen knows this. Don't fuck with me. This Heather general, I'm telling you, there's something we don't know. Jen goes, oh, girl, I know. And Heather goes, I'm ride or die, but when I'm done, I'm fucking done. And by the way, Heather, Whitney should be done with you. Angie K goes, I just wanted you to hear her say, I was trying to get her to listen so we could get this show on the road. The ladies go to this nightclub called Flicks. Jen in a confessional is like,
These bitches are boring as fuck, and I can't take much more. But guess what? Jen Shaw's here. Okay, to liven this shit up. You're welcome. We see the ladies in the club dancing, getting bottle service. Heather is pissed. Lisa is out on the dance floor with Whitney. Heather's like, Lisa picked her team. Fuck Whitney. Now the ladies are eating pizza in the van on the ride back to the house. They're totally wasted. Lisa calls John Barlow. Jen and Heather takes their top off and terrorize the house with their boobs. I mean, it's 2:45 a.m. and I'm talking like this is like Heather is just raw, just like these gigantic, like Jen Shaw has these gigantic fake melons that look okay in tops and stuff like that. But when you see them blurred out by like a weird clear bar, it looks even weirder. I'm like, who, like, that's a heck of a, that's a lot of work in that chesticle area. And producer, asks Heather, does it feel like you're back in college? And Heather's like, I'll tell you right now, it does not feel like college, because in college we had a laminated dog put on our dog if we had a boy there past 9:30. So I want to have fun. Even if I'm being a bitch, I'm a fun bitch. I'm a good time girl. Woo! This just is so sad to me. And I don't know, but also I will say this is like weirdly, like if you see it, like Jen's on the bed naked, like topless. Heather's topless, and Heather gets on top of Jen on the bed. I think Dana Banana or somebody's on the bed too. And Heather's like holding Jen down. And I'm like, is this where the scratch marks came from potentially? But it's like, there's something, how like it didn't overtly read this, but there was something like tiny, like sexual about it. And I know you're like, oh, Ryan, shut up. But no, there's something like, let's rub our boobs together. Let's, like, and I don't mean that in a pervy way, but there was something there where I almost think Jen Shaw makes Heather feel like a good time girl, or feel like the popular girl she's always wanted to feel like around Lisa Barlow. But Jen gives her that confidence. And then she's like, let's get crazy. Let's get, and I don't know. So I think there is this element of I'm not saying they've hooked up or anything like that, but there is a sexual element to this that I can't necessarily put my finger on, nor would I want to, but I don't know. It's there. There's something there, because even everybody's like, oh my God, you guys, Lisa helps Whitney take her wig off, and then she heads to bed. So we know Whitney's in bed. 3 a.m. Jen, Meredith, Heather, and Angie K are still partying. 3:20 a.m. Heather tells the ladies good night. Angie K heads to her room. 3:28 a.m. Heather walks in her room. We see this. There's a camera in the room. 4:50 a.m. Someone knocks on Heather's door and she opens it. This is very paranormal activity. 7 hours later, we see a text on screen from Heather, and it says, Meredith, ... Can you come to my room right now? 11:34 a.m. Meredith comes in. Heather goes, hey, girlfriend. Meredith goes, hey, what's going on? And Jen Shaw's in the room. She goes, please come here. Heather goes, sit down, sit down. Meredith goes, you guys are scaring me. Heather's sitting on the table with these huge sunglasses on. Heather takes Meredith's drinks. Takes Meredith's drink and goes, I need a sip. Meredith goes, liquid IV will hydrate you from last night. What's wrong? Heather takes off her sunglasses to reveal a black eye. Meredith is shocked, gives one of the best shocked, and she has those iPads underneath her eyes. And she also has scratches all over her arm. And Meredith goes, wait, when did this happen? To be continued. But don't worry, folks, it's continued right now, because we're going on to episode 12, baby. So Bad It's Good, Extreme Edition, supersize. We are giving you all of it right now. I'm not going to break. I'm going to break on YouTube, but we'll make this a separate YouTube video. Hold on one sec, you guys.